Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake your body.
Wake your punk ass up.
Crust out your eyes.
Yeah, Sway in the morning, 13 minutes into the hour. We had to come up with this segment because it's not getting the game.
Right.
Because, you know, a lot of artists are already in the game.
Absolutely.
And the trajectory is starting to elevate. You like that word, Tracy G.
I do.
And so they're still on the rise. And now it's time for them to shine. And with that said, man, I've been waiting to have this young man come on the show and hang out with us. We recently did our Wake Up Show Unplugged segment, and he came in and just sliced it and diced it and freestyled off the top of the head right over a live band. He never met any of the players, none of the musicians. King Tech and I was like, yo, Bishop Lamont, man, you know, you becoming like an urban legend in these parts, man. Just come over here, man. Just douse these tracks for us. And he came. A lot of people know him because of his affiliation with Dr. Dre and working with Aftermath for so many years, and then decided to become independent and do his own thing and release his own music. Still cool with Dre, but had to come and do his own thing. So now it's time to rise and shine. The man had to feed the family and got smart and smarter. Let me say that.
Message.
Okay.
Keep going.
and now he's doing it all by himself. It's the pre-formation. Now it's the reformation. It's the one, the only urban legend, the urban myth himself, Bishop Lamont, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, man.
Bishop Lamont.
You know what? You need to do that all the time for me. You need to be on the intro of my album. Bless you.
Yeah, man, you want
He
to
said
take
all
that?
the real things.
Yeah, well, I could have got deeper. To show some respect here, man. Because you know why? Let me tell you this. You know, we all find our own journeys, you know, to get to where we're set off to get. And sometimes, you know, we take our own paths. And but as long as you get to the promised land, that's all that counts.
Hallelujah.
You know, and you working with Dr. Dre, I'm sure it was a learning experience for you that you couldn't pay for in books. You know what I mean? And
No, very true.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
you learn the business at the highest height.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And experience the lowest lows of it. So if you can come through it and still be yourself, retain your soul, retain your identity, and be able to move forward and use it as momentum to really get what you deserve,
yeah.
it's all church.
And that's what we're here doing right now.
Hallelujah.
Man. Where did you grow up?
Compton, Inglewood, the Pueblos, Carson. You know, when you just with your mom, you by yourself, you got to do a lot of moving at times.
Yeah.
So starting from L.A. to Inglewood to Anaheim, I mean everywhere, man. We was in Orange County when they were still going a fight, and a white. We was only four black kids.
You know, when we were kids.
Oh yeah.
You grew up. They used to say it was a fight.
A nigger and a white, and we was fighting every day with them, man. It was, you know, so I got to see life from a lot of different perspectives.
Yeah.
And
Wait,
just
you was
recently,
beating up white people? I'm confused. What does that mean?
they was trying to beat us up. It was only
okay.
4 black kids in the whole school, and only 2 of us wanted to be black.
Oh.
You dig what I'm saying? So every day we was
Damn,
fighting
those
with
other
them, and then, you know, when it get too deep, we trying to run after we done got our licks in, we try to get on the bus. The lady driving the bus would take us off the bus to put more white kids on. You see what I'm saying? It's ill. So growing up in Anaheim in the 80s, because it was heavy out there with the Klan and different Aryan gangs, so I got to experience hate right there in front of me.
So you used to see KKK members walk up and down the
There was a
church.
church. There was a church next door to the apartment building. You know what's crazy is the apartment building we used to live in Buena Park was right across the street from Knott's Farm. Yeah. So, you know, we'd always break into Knott's Farm, especially during the summer.
Hold up. Knott's Farm, for those who don't know, is kind of like an amusement park for kids, right?
In Cali.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was across the street. Then there was this racist church right next door, and they would always call us niggers when they see us. So we used to hop the fence and stab their tires on Sundays. Wow. Like, it's crazy, but I've lived...
On Sundays, too.
Yeah, that's the best time to get them.
And
Like, take that, nigga.
And that's why they called them niggas, because it was right.
So how did you get the name then, Bishop Lamont?
Because my auntie's a minister, and she always said I was supposed to go into the ministry and I was going to be a bishop, and so it stuck. I didn't feel that, because at that time when you're a young man and you're in the streets, the softest thing is to be, you know, a believer in the Most High and to serve God. I was like, but okay, well, bishop from Juice, fine. I'll use it for that. But it was always about being able to bring the truth. She's like, you always had that anointment, because I've seen enough injustice, I've seen enough evil in my life that's why I try to breathe that through the music. You know what I mean? You still get your get down rah-rah, but at the end of the day, you try to unify people. I've been there. That's why when you see the Trayvon Martin situation, or just recently with the situation with Jordan Davis, right?
Jordan Davis, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I know what that is, because that easily could have been me in so many situations. So it's like being vocal about things like that. So, you know, that hits home. That was my point. Like, I've got to live everywhere and see the racism of with the white people, and then the racism between our own people, us going head to head with the Mexicans, my Usos with the Tongans. Like, I've seen it all from living everywhere. Like, people are probably not familiar.
Well, Uso is a brother term for Samoan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So you
know,
got to explain. Heather's looking when you said my
I'm
Uso.
forgetting, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
the
saying?
Tongan,
I'm on the other side. So
Okay.
back home, you know, it's our Polys, it's our Usos and the Tongans. They even have their own internal beast between what their culture's been. So I've lived everywhere to experience madness. You know what I mean? And to come through it and to breathe light and to give goodness and try to unify. So that's where the Bishop thing came from.
But initially, was your conversation with her awkward? Because you have to tell her, I'm not going to go into the religious sphere. I'm going to go on the complete opposite end of hip hop.
It wasn't awkward. It's just that you respect your auntie, you respect your elders, because it didn't just come from my auntie Faye. It came from my auntie Shirley as well. She was like, you have the anointment on you, and you need to walk that path. You know what I mean? So it's just, being a teenager, you ain't trying to hear that. You know, you trying to smoke, you trying to drink, you trying to do a lot of foolish things. And so you come through it and realize that that is always what it's meant to be. It's just the way that I'm going to do it in my fashion, because there's so much hypocrisy there in the churches. That's why I could never get with it.
Let's talk
You
about
know?
that up next too. And
Message!
He just described everything that Justin Bieber is going through.
Ah.
You said as a
Really?
yeah, you said,
What's he going through?
okay, as a teenager, what you say as a teenager, you don't want to hear that. You just want to.
Yeah, do all kind of ignorant things.
Smoke.
There it is.
Do
All
all
right.
kind of ignorant
Okay.
things.
All the Way Live is the name of the track.
Yeah.
It's on the album.
Yeah.
Talk about the album.
Oh man, well, the Pre-Formation is the last free street album, because what I did from the day one when I got with Aftermath was I wanted to make music for the street still.
I've been looking for this in rap. Somebody speaking for the people, to the people. I've been looking for the truth in rap. I'm tired of the quirky rhyme patterns and the tricky little
One-liners.
outfits and the
And the elf voices. Yeah. All the voices that we're doing.
who has a voice like that, man?
I'm not gonna say nothing. Just listen to them songs. That be like,
Well, do it again.
scary. Yeah, you don't know what to say.
Lil
They be on
Wayne.
the- They be on the
Wayne?
Mollies and all. It's
That's not
a
Wayne.
lot of
That
them.
is
I don't know.
Wayne.
It just be them elves, and I'll be scared. I'll be like, what is they doing?
Elves, evil elves.
That's not Wayne.
I don't know who it is. I'm just saying, they be out there.
Just been wanting to hear the
Go
truth.
from the diaphragm.
Been wanting to hear the people ain't rapping about nothing no more.
No.
Nothing that's motivating.
In a time in life where stuff is so serious right now, and they not paying attention to nothing.
They're scared to dive into it because they, you know, it's easier to like keep people pacified through a lot of attractive noises and lights than it is to keep people interested in truth. So-
Message.
Damn, that just came out. Man, just listen to your one song, make that all the way live.
Respect the influence.
Message.
So this you're doing on your own, right?
Message.
Okay.
He a pastor.
Every time he says that, I can take that as a yes. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
All right, Heather, did you want to?
Yeah, I did, because I'm listening to what you're saying, especially while the music is playing and what you're talking about, your demeanor. If your influence and your message is the truth and saying what's on your mind, which I absolutely love, then how do you plan on juggling the thing where you put out material and then you want to get it out to the masses? Do you worry about radio and video and all that other kind of stuff?
Nah, I mean, that was the first game that I played over there at that label. See, when I came from the underground, from doing the Wake Up Show, doing Friday Night Flavors, doing Project Blow, doing everything under the sun in
Right.
L.A., I was given the promise that I could be me and be a backpack MC, be a street nerd. Then when you get into it, it's like, nah, you got to gang bang. I ain't never gang bang. I'm in the streets. We real. We squab in a minute, but that's not me. All the homies that believe in me and back me gonna be like, when did you start banging cuz? When you start banging blood? So all the fights that I was always against was now in my face, and those were the challenges. I don't like how that song sound. You gotta put that gangster in it. You gotta do this and that. So all those fights were already fought for me, and that was my pain and that was my suffering. Because the song that we had at the time that really blew up in LA was #1 in 1 week, was called Grow Up. And it was all positive and it won, but they shut it down. Don't want you to win that way.
You think it's a bigger conspiracy going on? You know, like just to keep people dumb, deaf and blind through music? Like I often ask people, especially people who come from a religious background. Not saying that's you, but
To a certain extent.
to a certain extent, how has does rap play into the evils of a larger conspiracy to keep people just limited minded and dumb and celebrating the wrong stuff?
Hey.
When it comes to the arts, that's one of the most prevalent places for the devil to exist. You know, I mean, Lucifer, when he was an angel, was one of the most beautiful angels, had one of the most beautiful voices. He was a singer. So what better place for him to rule and to be able to manipulate than in this music business? You know what I'm saying? So in this, of course, that makes all the sense. Because remember how hip-hop started for all of us that know it. We were the voices of reason. We were the social commentary. We were the on-the-scene reporters, giving people what was real, not all the stuff that they doing now, because there's always product placement in a rhyme. Like I was telling somebody, I was in a meeting a couple of months back where a dude was like, can we get so-and-so to rap about tacos in his first verse? Because I'm trying to close this deal with Taco Bell. Like, it's gotten that bad now. You know what I'm saying? So they don't even realize their favorite rappers are basically house nuts or their prize horses that are put in the races or the pageantries that they want to decorate them how they feel. So the messages that they're receiving are not so sincere.
Bishop Lamont is with us. Do you think artists, like, I did a thing called Grown Up Black, and before CNN did it, and Snoop was one of the people I talked to, and we talked about, at some point in your life, you reach a crossroads, especially growing up in California, where you either going to take that left turn, and you might get into those streets or get into doing something criminal, something dark and evil, for whatever your reasons are, whatever excuses you come up with. That's you take that left, or you take that right, and you try to do that straight and narrow path. You think artists are aware that, are unaware that in many ways they're being utilized as a tool to promote something that ain't always good?
I think at the beginning they don't, but then they get to a junction and the money's so good that then they see it can be in jeopardy if they don't continue, that they go along with that movie. They go along with that script is because they don't want to shake up what basically they're taking care of the whole family off of, why they have a life, because possibly without this hustle, they wouldn't have anything and they'd be back to the streets. So they're with that. You know what I'm saying? And other people just don't care. They're just in it for the now and they're in it for themselves. And I always see that. Like, back home, we work with all the youth centers, so I see the effect of the music. Yeah. That's why it really made it scary for me when I had to start watching what I was saying in songs, because I'm working at the youth center, especially over in Bold Heights. You already know how I get down over there. So you got to watch what you're saying, because these kids believe it. Then they out here in the streets, they killing each other's shoes. They talking all the stuff you say on these songs, believing it. And it's not real. You're not doing that. You living in the desert. You living in Calabasas. You ain't in these streets. You don't even come down to the hood to see these kids. Yeah. But you got them believing this. You ain't touched guns in years. You got police with you, but you saying F the police. You saying, the feds. But you got the feds protecting you. You at the party with the feds.
You're hiring them.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Pre-Formation is the name of the project. People can get it now?
Yeah, it's free. It's free. It's the last street album for free before the Reformation comes July, summer.
Okay.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shade 45.